cautiously on that bottom lane or risk getting 100-0 between the Ignite and the ultimate.
And that makes the distortion from the LeBlanc going to be an incredibly risky late game flanking tool as well, because if you do get caught out, I think there are actually a ton of tools right now for DAMWON to win a 5v5.
Yeah,
and in a game where we expected them to go heavily towards a 1-3-1, not necessarily with such a good collapse, I think that so far the draft is heavily favoring the LCK lineup.
It's definitely an exciting draft right here. As you're right, the Veigar is in the bottom lane. Well into the first game of Worlds for the North American champions, Team Liquid. DAMWON Gaming crushed their way through the play-in stage. They are South Korea's 3rd seed here, representing LCK, hoping to pick up what SKT did earlier, picking up a win.
Something I got to highlight right off the bat, it's the Cull start here for Nuguri. You are going to see it's Klepto, this is Cull. This is very much his playstyle, something that he's really well known for. And it's so dangerous when you're playing against someone like this, who is going to be so talented individually, and on the Vladimir that scales incredibly well.
And if you didn't check it out, Frost did a really great breakdown of Nuguri's Vladimir, and specifically the build he goes towards. This is a guy that has been playing Vladimir the whole year and has revolutionized multiple builds. He started with the Dorian's ring start, then he went towards the double CDR items. This time you're probably going to see him also go for an early Nomad's medallion. It's all about being able to build up that cheap and efficient CDR and then gold generation items to be able to crush a mid game.
And it becomes a really difficult proposition for your opponent, right? If you are Xmithie, do you dedicate your early game time to trying to keep down this Vladimir that is somewhat of a ticking time bomb? You may hold him down for a bit. When that Klepto gold is coming in, the Cull cashes out, you really are going to be ramped up into that mid game pretty quickly.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, as I mentioned, the way they hit Aatrox was a lot of that wave clear, a lot of that shove. So even if you do get into the lane, he's not really going to be able to push out and help other parts of the map. That was an area of Impact's game I felt like got much better for Team Liquid. He was constantly roaming out of that top lane. So I think that this might not necessarily lend to that playstyle, and I would like to see them go all in on the bottom lane.
One thing I want to point out as you talk about bottom lane is the fact that Xmithie was spotted, well, inferred in his jungle route, because you saw Impact come to lane a little bit late with damage on him. He leashed the red buff, and they can kind of surmise where that Jarvan started. Candy, meanwhile, to my knowledge, no deep wards in his jungle, just soloed his Raptors. Could have technically started anywhere, although you do expect a weak camp for the Gragas. So he's in a little bit more fog of war going through this camp.
Yeah, and Xmithie was actually spotted on a ward there, but ShowMaker's not getting out.
Knockup is there, Ignite there, pretty good damage. A little bit of trade on the way back, no chains for Jensen, but Q&W lands, and ShowMaker early recall without TP to get back to lane.
I mean, that was honestly really sloppy. Xmithie walked over a ward. There's no reason that ShowMaker shouldn't have been able to actually, play to the other side of the map. You even called it out, Phreak. They knew that Xmithie was very likely starting on that top side, given that Impact showed up late to lane. So, perhaps a little bit of jitters there in the early game from ShowMaker.
Yeah, absolutely could be, and when he starts something like the Doran's Blade, that means he wants to play up in the lane and trade very aggressively, not having the teleport to get back as well. That's going to cost him experience. And when you're playing against a LeBlanc, experience becomes very crucial, because her all in at that level 6 mark, especially if she hits it first, can become very oppressive in the lane. So I would expect Canyon to now visit this lane and try and even out that gap.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got to also take a look at the buys, right? It's just a refillable. When you're looking over on the other side, getting that Dark Seal on the first buy is going to be very preferential here for Jensen. So, in these coming minutes, he is certainly going to be sitting pretty, but have to be respecting that all in.
Now the fight down to the bottom side. The stun is going to be there, and you can see CoreJJ not able to do much on the way out, but still damage on the Beryl puts him at half HP, and the trade favors Team Liquid.
Always been something that Galio has in his kit, just the upfront burst damage if you are able to land abilities. And that is going to require very good brush control. So I'm interested to see how they maintain this push and whether they can continue to replicate that in the lane, because I feel like it's going to be necessary.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It is incredibly important. And, while you can kind of play more aggressively, I feel in these early levels against the Veigar, as you start stacking up that passive, as you start getting these buys, and especially when you hit level 6, the burst potential alongside Alistar combo with Ignite really does threaten the 100-0 type of play. So TL is going to try to have to create advantages in these early levels and try to get something done before DAMWON can get there.
Yeah, and I think that when we have a look at how TL should look to open up this map, it is through a lot of what is already going well for them. Mid lane push is going to be there. Bottom lane push. That opens up the blue side bottom jungle. That's where majority of Canyon's experience in gold is going to sit. And if you open that up for Xmithie, it's only going to mean good things. So I think this is, one of those, hasn't been an explosive early game, but is certainly playing out to the script.
Yeah, and if you take a look, you can very easily see where DAMWON is playing to. Look here on the minimap, 4 deep wards in that TL, topside jungle. This is why we are seeing Impact sit back under turret, willing to give up farm. He knows he is playing weak side of the map, and if you step up, if you're trying to trade with this Vladimir, despite the fact that Vladimir is weak in the early levels, Canyon can very easily be behind him. So this is intelligent play from Impact, and despite the fact that he's down farm, he has to play it out this way.
And the first time that Xmithie shows on his side of the map, he actually is able to shove Nuguri back. So I like Impact's timing. Once again, this is a former world champion. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Impact despite so many promising performances recently.
Definitely an incredible player, has been one of the best top laners in North America for a while. It's been a while since people have called him the #1. To be fair to your point, I think that's clear, but he's definitely been a good player on the world stage when it matters most, and you can see that trade gets him pretty close in farm. 5 CS difference, not too bad.
And maybe a repeat gank mid, so I hold the thought. No, actually, what I was going to say is North American top laners on the world stage have actually just been getting better in general. You think back to the performances Licorice was also able to have. It was a role that was often heavily criticized going into international tournaments, but I feel like it has started to be remedied in the last few years.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Mostly on the backs of, I think, Impact as well as Licorice. These guys have been really big standouts for the team, and certainly excited to see how they will be able to perform against some of this top competition here. But, thus far, pretty slow early game. It is going to be the Infernal first Dragon, so interested to see if either one of these teams are going to be looking to kind of make a move towards that. But thus far, it feels like DAMWON is just tracking Xmithie everywhere he goes. They have had such good vision. They've had so many pink wards down across the map. You can still see there is one back up in his jungle over here. There's another pink ward down on the bottom side. He spotted out starting out this Dragon, so Xmithie has really kind of been stifled by really good wards from DAMWON.
Predator pop, CoreJJ from the brush, looks for a taunt, not going to find it there, is going to walk back out, but now they're going to re-engage towards the Drake as Predator times out, but the rest of the squad, when can they come down? You've got LeBlanc in first, Yasuo forced to farm under his turret, so without ShowMaker showing up, it is Infernal Drake going to Team Liquid very early on, sub 7 minutes. Mid lane priority, Jensen makes it happen.
And a really nice timing on the Infernal Dragon as well. That means, one more wave pushed out for Liquid can be into a recall and top lane flip as well. We call it the staggered objectives, and Liquid very much in control of the pace of this early game.
Yeah, they certainly are, and a lot of it is just off of that early game gank from Xmithie, the preferential buy from Jensen, but he's got to be careful now because Canyon is wrapping around and ShowMaker is 6.
Got a new knockup, he's got a jungler nearby as well. They're not going to go for the flash play, but they're going to shepherd him towards his turret. Able to walk away, grab most of that farm, should get it with the auto in the queue, and so far okay. Now we're getting a fight in the top side. This time no pool left for Nuguri. He's going to chase down to this one. Pretty good damage available as the heal comes through from the ultimate, and Impact cannot get a lot more damage done, but still fighting back valiantly. Every time he sees the opposing jungler, goes for the battle.
Yeah, it is that trade of ultimates. You can see Nuguri actually going away from his CDR build, though. He is likely going straight towards full AP here, looking more for kind of that one-round style of Vladimir when you do go for Spellbinder's Orb and these types of items. You're looking more for that kind of first round impact of spells.
And it is always so tempting. You're playing Vladimir, you've got great ratios, you're back with the 1250 gold, and you're like, you know what, Kindle Gem and Boots could be a great purchase here. However, how can you resist something like a needlessly large rod, especially if you are someone like Nuguri? So I agree with you. However, you can see that is hurting. Impact has started to win a lot of these trades right now, and it is in a situation where Nuguri could be punished for the greedy item.
Well, again, knocked up, takes some damage. Once again, Pools gets away, so Impact wins an HP right there. Xmithie was just spotted by that deep control ward that Azael pointed out a little while ago, and so once again, the TL jungler is tracked.
And despite all the things I've been saying about the nerf version of Aatrox, his teamfighting is still monstrous. I mean, this is a guy that if he's able to enter mid-game teamfights with the cleaver, with the Death Dance, he is very hard to peel, and this is a very short-range comp coming through from DAMWON, which Aatrox is going to have a field day in.
He certainly can, but he's also got to be pretty careful about the crowd control that can come through, because there's a tremendous amount of burst on the side of DAMWON, and most of your tankiness is from that lifesteal. You've got to be able to get the damage out, and if you just get ignited and Veigar all comes through and you're just getting knocked down almost immediately, that becomes very difficult. But DAMWON thus far have been pretty content to just sit back, farm, scale up their champions, and use their vision very defensively.
And this is very fair to the style of game that DAMWON do like to play. It is, hold the thought, Xmithie looking bottom lane.
Gonna try for it, but a really nicely placed cage buys his base. There's the knockup, a lot of damage coming across. First blood gonna come through, Nuclear falls, and the kill goes to Xmithie.
And Xmithie with the EQ flash there, that was perfect from him. a player not known for his mechanics, but that was beautifully done there.
And continued pressure elsewhere on the map as well. You can see Jensen still looking for aggressive trade. Impact still has this push, and you can see that there is no easy answer right now for Canyon to be able to get his team back into this game. That kill also perfectly timed. If this bottom lane does get pushed out, they have just forced Nuclear to teleport back towards lane. Rift Herald could be open right now for TL. However, I do want to take a second to talk about, how DAMWON do like to play the game. This isn't necessarily a team that will explode early game leads. It is more between the 15 and 25-minute mark, whilst the mid game and the 1-3-1 is set up. So certainly not unfamiliar territory just yet.
Yeah, definitely not. And I do think, even when you are getting to those later stages in the team fights, DoubleLift is going to have to play so incredibly safe to not just get one comboed by the likes of this Yasuo Gragas. If you're getting hit by that ultimate, anything from Veigar following that up, and you could easily be getting burst 100 to 0.
Oh, an Impact makes the bluff happen. Nuguri knows if Impact flashes, he's dead. There's the old combo to the mid lane. Oh, Jensen is deleted.
And finally, Jensen is punished for sticking his nose in ShowMaker's business. Repetitive, aggressive trades coming across, and Canyon finally catches him out.
Yeah, that was really well executed. Finally able to pull off that Gragas Yasuo combo, and that is the danger that this type of composition really does provide. And gonna have to be cognizant of that really through all stages of the game. So here it is one more time, just ultimate over the wall there. Jensen not able to react in time, would have had to flash the cask to avoid that death, because once you get caught in the Yasuo ultimate, easy body slam flash from Canyon to clean that up.
And a necessary burning of double summoner spells there as well. You need to guarantee that that is a one combo, because otherwise Xmithie can be there for the cleanup. Jensen is going to be very elusive. And I do think that TL might have missed a little bit of a trick here. Sure, it is another Infernal Dragon coming up, but I don't think you want to just straight up lane and keep the map as stable as they are right now going into a Vladimir Yasuo composition. I would like to see them try and upset this, make the map state a little bit more fluid. However, Impact is having a very good time.
No flash, but he's able to get away from the pullback, and Nuguri's able to go back to safety. 3 CS till Cole is done. He loves to recall. Once that's complete, and he's going to be healthy enough that he can probably get most of this farm out of the turret. The Drake has spawned this time around. Jensen tries to push back Beryl.
And while I do certainly agree with you, Spawn, I think the tough part for TL is that DAMWON has just had such good vision, right? Xmithie certainly has been trying. I don't think he's been overly passive and just trying to power farm. He's been looking for a lot of ganks, but everything is warded out, and DAMWON has just done a remarkable job of that. And honestly, again, I have to kind of point to this ward. This has just been sitting there for the last 10 or so minutes. I mean, a little bit of an exaggeration, but a long time.
Yep.
And has constantly been spotting out Xmithie and making their moves very difficult to pull off.
Now DoubleLift flash. Ult comes in, pulls in 2. Here comes Galio over the top as well. A single knockup. Here's the pull right back in, but Beryl's tanky. The re-engage explosive cast buys some time, but DoubleLift finds that first kill. Beryl still low. The flash knockup. Impact doing the shy impressions now is ShowMaker. Knocked up as well, trying to run away. The flash to follow. The taunt under the turret. They've got a lot of damage now, and the Leprechaun trying to stay alive. A turret trades one. A flash keeps Nuclear alive.
Oh.
ShowMaker blocks it. That was beautiful as the fight was so close.
What a back and forward affair there between TL and DAMWON, but it should still be priority over this Dragon for the North American lineup. That fight should have nearly been a wipe.
Yeah.
And finally, TL dragged DAMWON out of those lanes.
Yeah, ShowMaker and Nuclear really playing that well in the final moments to prevent it from just being a clean wipe there pretty much. But TL do still have the HP advantage, and that is double Infernal now to them. They are looking for this proactive play. Mind you, DoubleLift had already been pushed out, so it was a bit of a difficult entrance. Xmithie starts it off alongside CoreJJ. DoubleLift has to use the ultimate to re-enter, which meant he couldn't actually chase down to finish off some of these later kills.
And the re-engage here was prevented by the Veigar cage. Remember, you can no longer dash through this, so it cost seconds that were necessary for the cleanup kills. This is what we were mentioning about ShowMaker as well. Watch as he comes back in front of his AD carry player there and will be able to prevent another kill going over.
Another crucial point of that fight was Nuguri could not join in. His recall was a lot later than Impact. He was pushed under his turret. Once the TP came through, the squad had already pushed behind him, so we got nothing done there.
Yeah, certainly the case. 2 kills, also going over to DoubleLift, a big deal there for TL. You know, pushing him forward in this game. You can see he's already considering some defensive items, picked up the Null, knowing the potential of this Gragas, the Veigar, as well as the Vladimir, to just kind of cleanly knocking him out. So may have to sidestep and force something like the lines of a Hex Drinker before he can go into the rest of his damage.
Yeah, it certainly could be the case. And I do want to point out that DAMWON are still trying to force the pace.
Ooh, Jensen able to juke away from that one, not tagged by Beryl's knockup combo. 3k health on this Herald right now as we wait to see if this gets pushed down again. A chain towards Beryl, decent damage there. The eye is open. Smite comes through for Canyon, nicely done. I don't know if TL can shepherd this though. They're gonna let Beryl take this one. No, not just yet. Impact coming through as well. This could be another team fight right now. The knockup are in though. Look at the damage output. Zonia's buys a few seconds. ShowMaker a bit low, still running around. Xmithie almost dead, but the knockup makes ShowMaker go down 1-for-0. Impact will be traded off as Hemo Plague does a lot of damage. So now the 4v4, the Smite comes in. Body slam, auto attack. That's gonna do it. Canyon picks up the second kill of the fight. This one goes DAMWON's way.
Yeah, this is certainly in DAMWON's favor. They're grabbing the steal. Canyon with a great smite to take away that Rift Herald is the big difference in this fight. And when Impact looked to enter, he was completely shut down by that Veigar cage. His first QE actually got him stunned, and now DAMWON can look for this mid lane turret. It should be theirs.
Seems likely. It's not going to be any more plates, of course. We're past 14 minutes, but still 150 gold bounty for first turret. There's the charge in, and the champion's still waiting around. This is certainly going to be the turret falling. Extra gold to the 2 big mages on the squad. Not kind of nuclear, but that's still money in the pockets of DAMWON.
And a key factor of that last fight is how ulti-reliant TL is. And whenever you play a Galio comp, you have to be very aware of the fact he has a longer ultimate. You notice right now that CoreJJ's ult is enough. This would have been a beautiful scenario to have that available. And DAMWON love these skirmish-heavy comps that are not so ult-reliant, or they have shorter cooldowns.
Yeah, certainly the case, and they executed this very well. Xmithie not having the flag up there to actually exit, so it does do get knocked down. But really, the kind of big victory here for DAMWON was on the later end of that fight. Taking the mid lane turret is going to take away a lot of the safety here from TL and give them access to some deeper vision into the Team Liquid jungle.
Especially at this stage of the game, because you can just park nuclear mid lane, and it is going to be so hard to push into the Veigar. This opens up the 1-3-1. Watch where their vision goes, because they are very good at attacking a deep portion of the map. We've seen it be the top side the entirety of this game, and wherever Canyon and Beryl float towards is the area I expect to try and shove TL away from these turrets.
And also now that Nuclear actually has his first completed item here, he has that Super Soaker, the slow on this with Glacial Augment is so big that it does allow you to set up your own cage very, very easily. And when you have someone like Canyon coming in as well, that can force flashes out, that can force cooldowns out of Team Liquid to try to escape those setups.
Definitely going to be a player we watch for here. DAMWON certainly not gun-shy about engaging and taking fights. 4-4 in kills, and the gold lead about 1,000 in their favor. That, of course, answered by Team Liquid's double Infernal Drake, fighting that back quite a lot. Nuguri a bit low, though. Chained up, has the big heal available. Uses that through the Ignite, but this could still be a TL dive. Now, the Sanguine Pool is available as he charges up. Doesn't find anyone to fight just yet. That's just health missing now. And that's going to be the chain. That's going to be damage. Wait, there's the kill finally coming through. Jensen grabs that one. Easy enough dive, 4v0 essentially.
And it's not every day after mid lane turret goes down that you're able to gain push over that area and stay for a wave and a half to just wait and dive out Nuguri. Sure, they are trading objectives on the other side of the map, but you can see Impact did the right thing. He floats into mid lane. He collects the additional wave. So this is TL coming out with an extra kill, but also extra CS advantage.
Yeah, exactly. It is that turret trade. They go positive 1 kill. They slow down the Vladimir here a little bit, so certainly a nice play for Team Liquid. And it is now the completed Rage Blade here for DoubleLift. So 2 critical items done for that Kaisa. He has had an incredibly strong point. The question is not can he put out the damage, it is going to be can he survive and avoid the engage here, because that is going to be the critical step for him. In Team Liquid's team fights, it's going to be more about kind of absorbing the initial punch and avoiding these Yasuo combo and then fighting back and finishing them off.
And a big portion of that is the fact that Nuguri is going to be very slow to get into these fights. And I mean in the most literal sense. He still doesn't have Boots 2 on his Vladimir build. That is normally a rush item.
Yeah, well, this time around,
the TP flank, though.
AP, the TP flank comes in, DoubleLift sees it. They're going to fight Nuguri here. He's going to take a lot of damage, though. Knows he still has a Sanguine Pool. Now it's time for the second Smite fight here in this Mountain Drake as the engage almost comes in. There's the dunk on top, and it's 3 flashes forced out. This time for it doesn't matter, though. Into the back line, Nuguri finds a bit of damage with the Hemo Plague. Won't quite kill DoubleLift, but it's still a Drake coming through with a re-flash in for the top laner, but it's still kills coming through for the LCK side. The stun is there, and they're shutting down Team Liquid. Still Impact tries, but CoreJJ is incredibly low. The Vlad cannot die. What a team fight coming through for DAMWON Gaming. This is Nuclear to grab the kill, and the core, no problem at all. Only a single man survives the team fight. Going to DAMWON.
Yeah, Team Liquid completely mismanaging that. They knew Nuguri was behind them. They know he has the ultimate in the cooldowns. They decide to try to engage forward anyway, but that means that the backline of TL is just going to get absolutely eviscerated. You know, DoubleLift started this off very well. I think you just have to try to keep better eyes on Nuguri here, because as they go for the engage, look at all the damage he's able to get on. His Q is already empowered off of the Gromp. The flash in, DoubleLift is now out of the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the value of Veigar at the end of this as well. Cage about to go down, and DoubleLift just flies into the edge of it. That's just game over as far as this team fight is concerned. They have to be much more aware of where Nuclear is going to be with the utility, and Nuguri's damage is going to be the highlight.
Yeah, it certainly is. And that cage will interrupt you mid-ultimate. That will stop you in your track. So DoubleLift has to be, pretty damn careful about that.
Every single player on Team Liquid has a spell that is interrupted by the Veigar cage. Event Horizon works against all 5 of those characters. It's been very powerful so far. Good damage output, second only to the farming Vladimir, and the CC super in there as well. So 2,500 gold is the DAMWON Gaming lead. Still, that's answered by the Drakes that TL have, but it still feels like it's going the way of the Koreans.
And now this is the stage of the game you need to be able to weather the storm. This is going to be Void Staff completed. 2 items for the Gragas. You can see the stopwatch, Zonya's there for Nuclear as well. This is the area that DAMWON will start to really exert great pressure on the map. And I feel like TL are at least an item away before they want to be able to contest that again with their traditional marksmen.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I actually think, even though Nuclear's build here is pretty atypical, you'll almost always see the double slow items coming out immediately. He doesn't have those spooky ghosts coming out. I think you don't need the additional damage. When you have, pure AP, Gragas, you have these monstrous soul laners who already are so strong, why not just keep that Zonias to make sure that if it is J4 Galio engaging on your head, it's an easy Zonias to negate that completely.
Because League of Legends really does feel a lot more utility and carry focused at the moment, as opposed to traditional marksman comps. And I do feel like that bottom lane just holds all the utility necessary for this team comp to be successful. It stops all the dashes, as you mentioned, and also can just hard reset a team fight if you put it around that Galio and Jarvan. And is that going to be a wit's end picked up for DoubleLift? It's not an item I see very often.
And it can still be Hurricane, of course,
yeah,
which is a very likely pickup as well. I wouldn't mind either option. I can see it going both ways, but still do want to see him able to survive the mages, and just the Null Magic Mantle isn't really enough to survive Vladimir.
I think he's just going to sit on the casual Null and actually probably go Hurricane or something along those lines, and then go back into a Hex Drinker is what I'm expecting. Certainly would be possible, but I think the Magic Damage Shield is going to be more useful against this much upfront burst.
Yeah, and I always get interested by the Kaisa build path. Hold the thought.
Yeah, plenty of damage here, but he's still going to be able to get the heal coming through. Now the fight continues, though, and this could be enough for impact with the rest of the squads coming around, though. He's got to back right out. 500 health from the Vladimir, though. Forward motion for the squad, looking to kill off Vlad, but he can't die. Finally, Impact gets one, and they get a second as well. The solo kill for the top laner, and Beryl's certainly going to get dropped down as well.
This could be Baron! They're going to go for it. They're going to run straight to Baron. Impact with a solo kill here on Nuguri. Completely flips this game around.
But keep in mind, Canyon has taken every contested neutral objective this game so far. Better smite on Drake, better smite on Rift Herald. Team Liquid had better zone him out of this pit.
Yeah, CoreJJ already behind the pit. They know that is a possibility, but it is not even going to be contested. Team Liquid going to get a 23-minute Baron off of a massive play from Impact.
Yeah, Impact, you monster. He just keeps Nuguri out of that fight completely. He's on 10% health before it even begins. And this is the top laner of TL that all eyes were on going into MSI. He silenced the doubters, but for some reason, they've flown back out of the woodwork in his first game of Worlds. He looks disgusting on this Aatrox.
I mean, he's playing great. Nuguri just wasn't able to get the healing due to that Executioners. And then on the other side, they know there's no flash on the Vladimir. He used it in the last team fight, so Team Liquid can engage with Reckless Abandon, knowing there's no possibility of the Vladimir flanking.
And the decisiveness of this comp, the little window of opportunity to be able to create a fight in the middle of the forest where there are great areas to be able to cut off choke points with your Jarvan and to be able to take that opportunity straight away.
Adam's coming through. Phantom Dancer comes through for DoubleLift. It's going to be the shield option here, not the Hurricane. Not either of the things we predicted, but it is going to make it more durable.
That makes a lot of sense, because if he keeps flying into that Veigar ultimate, he really needs a QSS. You know, he's going to be able to cleanse that one off eventually, so I do like the itemization.
This time around, though, really big damage, and Nuguri couldn't get away from the back half of the chain, so the pull comes through. His Impact is going to have to back off of this one, but you can see this Aatrox doing well on the trades.
Yeah, no one is answering Jensen right now, and he does have those Baron minions, so TL is pushing on two sides. You can see he's just shoving this down. No one even close to actually answering Jensen, so TL is going to push up mid lane, pressure this bot lane turret, and use their mid lane squad to now rotate over to this dragon from mid and just be able to grab that, no problem.
And I feel like this is now the stage of the game that it becomes very difficult to navigate, because we've already seen DAMWON want to come from multiple areas of the fight, but because the map has been pushed up for so long, it's going to limit the amount of teleport flanks that you're able to generate. TL need to do a very good job of staying diligent on vision, but if they do, I feel like in a 5v5 front-to-back composition, Kaisa is going to be queen at this stage of the game.
As long as she's not caught. Everyone has some pretty heavy crowd control, a pretty heavy burst. If DoubleLift stays alive, yes, it's going to be million damage, but DAMWON's comp is just very volatile.
It certainly is, and one of the kind of tough things here for TL is when you are trying to check every box, make sure you have vision from every angle, the Baron buff is ticking, right? There's, you know, about a little bit over a minute left on this Baron buff, and while it certainly was nice and it's a good injection of gold, they are nowhere even close to dealing game-ending damage. They do have 5 men mid, though, and let's see if they want to try to go for this dive. Nuclear is low.
Another nice juke. Ignites almost going to kill him. Is there a tick left? No. He's going to walk away with about 100 HP, but this is still now a 5v4 on the map. At any point, Xmithie could say, all right, EQR, join me, CoreJJ.
Jensen is pretty much out of mana, though, so I don't think TL can actually look to force here. They are just going to try to zone and extend the gold lead.
Yeah, and I like that call, because you don't want to pay back all the hard work that you've just picked up. You won one team fight, you've now got the lead back in your favor, and there is another Infernal Dragon spawning. Keep them on map, keep the map static for now, get your recall in and set up well around that objective. That's going to set up a very powerful Elder Dragon and give this lineup multiple win conditions to play towards.
Exactly. If TL has to play neutral objectives, this Drake could not be better timed. Hold the throne, almost a knockup at a DoubleLift. Not sure if they would have followed that one, but it's going to spawn just after 30 minutes, meaning Elder spawns just about 35. It'll be pretty perfect timing there. So if TL needs to play a safe neutral game, that's in the cards for him.
And it is going to be the QSS buy here for DoubleLift. You can see pretty significant gold advantage, you know, for him there over Nuclear, and Team Liquid's certainly looking good thus far. But DAMWON very far from out of this game. They always have the potential, you know, with a comp like this, to absolutely erase one of the carries at the start of the fight, and then the gold lead means nothing. The Infernals mean nothing, and Team Liquid is going to have to do such a good job, not only of having their own vision down, but actually sweeping out flank wards, sweeping out TP wards, like we saw destroy them at that previous Dragon fight.
Yeah, and I think that they would have loved their recall to be slightly later, because 2.5 minutes to hold complete control of the map is a very difficult task. So you can see instead they're trying to pinch the side lane, they're trying to control the forest and maybe prevent that easy access into this part of the map. This is the exact area we saw TL win the last team fight. See if they can force another one here.
Looking to move forward, looking to take over this jungle yet again. They've got the gold lead and the Drake lead, 2,500 in Team Liquid's favor. And a little bit of poke towards Beryl, doesn't quite find him yet, but they're trying to get rid of some wards.
Yeah, again, buying some time for that bottom lane wave. It is Jensen kind of just being sent off. They're keeping the rest of the 4-man squad together, and they're trying to force someone to answer this wave before TL look to do anything aggressive elsewhere. And with Nuguri showing up, TL may try to posture a little bit more.
And this is where discipline comes into League of Legends. The willingness to just sit and deny resources. This is a quarter of the jungle that Canyon no longer has access to. This is golden resources being starved out, and Vision is the primary game that is being denied right now. When you're sitting underneath your turrets, all of the keys to being able to prepare that successful fight are being denied. And this is what a veteran lineup will do on the world stage against a young lineup. They'll frustrate you. They'll make you play impatient. They want DAMWON to just run at them right now because they know that that is a winning team fight for Liquid.
And in about 45 seconds, run at them is probably going to happen here. The Baron spawns well before the Drake does, so if they play it quickly, there's no trade in the cards. Almost a knockup out of Canyon. Xmithie looked for the play. They didn't find it quite yet. No collapse, but it's still Pressure.
And once again, trigger discipline. You know what objective you're fighting over. Don't run in. Don't fight over nothing right now. You have the key to be able to pull them out of this base.
And these guys know how close this group is, how competitive this group is. Every win really can be the difference between going home at group stages or making it out. So getting every single one of these, making sure with your setups, making sure that you have the perfect execution and you're not making those errors is so important. And Jensen getting a big pick like that would be huge for their Baron chances. For now, he's going to push Canyon back, and he is having the Baron spawn, so we'll see if TL want to try to make any risky moves and start something up.
They nearly chunked him to half. They don't know if he's recalling.
They're going in.
They're instead going for the fight. A nice pulverize, though, pulls off the aftershock. He's going to stay healthy, and Xmithie going to be forced out, but still, Jensen wants some poke, finds it. They see Canyon still around, still at half HP.
Yeah, this is just a beautiful setup, right? It's actually better to have a 4v4 if you are TL. If Impact and Nuguri stay out of the fight, TL should not lose this fight. Jensen can look to poke, can look to try to push them down and create opportunities where TL can actually start up the Baron and TPing over to it.
Scimitar done for DoubleLift. He recalled to finish the item, then TP'd right back in. They're trying to make the big play.
And you can see that DoubleLift is faking, hitting the Baron. Now we'll just start it up. No, you won't again. That's another fake. They suckered him in.
They go for the knockup. They get a lot of damage. Xmithie almost dead. He's going to be found by the Yasuo as well. Finally gets the dunk down. Doesn't quite die. Gets another knockup. Finally, one kill picked up. TP's now coming in as well. Barely alive and walking away is Beryl. The jump in. Can't find it.
He goes DoubleLift.
There's one kill. There's two. Look at the team fight victory. Team Liquid immediately grab 4.
They're going to look to end the game perhaps here. They have a mini wave. They want to finish him.
I've seen DoubleLift fight mages in mid before. This time he pulls it off with the quadra kill, and down mid lane they will go.
I think they've done it. Look at the respawn timers, 30 seconds. TL have the minions, and they may just claim game number 1.
You have to believe they've done it. North America has never topped a group at Worlds, and Team Liquid just maybe are the first squad to do this here with 5 more to play. They're doing well against one of Korea's best. They'll knock down the turrets. They will knock down the Nexus, and Team Liquid will grab the first win for North America at Worlds.
The #1 seed out of North America are able to put on a commanding performance. I feel like the game played out perfectly to script for TL. One hiccup, but apart from that, just complete control over the pace this game was played.
And this is a style that DAMWON is very comfortable in. They were playing in DAMWON's wheelhouse. We saw Nuguri hit all the items he needed, ShowMaker have everything he needed. Team Liquid, it was the vision play around Baron that really set them up for success here. And who else but DoubleLift flying in that final fight, going aggressive, diving past the Veigar box to get a quadra kill and secure the first victory here for Team Liquid.
But I feel like every member of TL had a moment this game.
Yeah.
That E-flash combo there from Xmithie, how well Jensen lane, and then Impact for me, the monster in the top lane. Going against Nuguri, maybe the best top laner in the world, and in back-to-back international performances, you know, through the Shy, this time through Nuguri, that's very impressive.
I mean, honestly, that solo kill that he got on Nuguri really did kind of, I think, create the first meaningful advantage for Team Liquid in this game. It helped to secure, you know, additional gold leads. It helped to secure the eventual Baron. You know, and they really were set up very well by Impact, even though he was playing weak side of the map for most of the early game.
Yeah, didn't get any help at all from what I can remember. But to your point, that solo kill was part of the team fight 3-for-0 that turned into the Baron, that turned into a 3,500 gold Baron power play, which TL said, okay, with this lead, we simply play for Baron number 2. And that play absolutely won the game. So that little piece of it just snowballed into everything.
And I've had so many conversations with Jat this Worlds about how it's not how quickly you close out a game, but with the